Hey, everybody. Welcome back to the Adoption Squad. I am your host, Mary.
And I'm Annie. And together we are the Adoption Squad.
The Adoption
and
Squad.
there you go.
Yeah. I think that's about as good as it's going to get right now.
Yeah, because we don't do video chatting.
No.
So there's no visual cue for us to figure that one out.
Yeah. So we just kind of go off of sound, and this was probably the worst one.
And that's okay.
It's okay.
Moving on.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I do want to say thank you to all who have reached out to us recently. I have had a few people talk about the book recommendation section that we're starting to develop. It's definitely in the beginning stages, but people are liking the fact that we're adding something like that to the website, and the fact that there's now an Apple player so that they can listen to our most recent episode there, as well as the previous episodes. So
that's nice. That makes things easier.
Yeah. So you definitely can check that out. And I'm hoping that in the upcoming weeks that I get a chance to keep adding to the website. I'm definitely very much figuring this out as we go. But thank you to all who are noticing that effort. Anything you want to say to people right now, Annie?
Well, Facebook too. We're going to kind of change that around, and you'll like our page on Facebook. Check it out in the next week. You'll like our page. We aren't going to accept any more friend requests because that just got really messy really fast.
Mm-hmm.
So we're just going to have a page that you like and follow instead.
Right. So we're going to streamline that and make it all make sense.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So I have been hogging all of the airspace for weeks now, and it's really Annie's turn. And so what are you going to talk about today?
Well, I'm going to start with my non-identifying information, which is not 3 pages and does not reveal all sorts of drama.
Right.
But what mine does, which is glaring to me now, is how much error is in the information out of people's either lack of knowledge or faulty memories, just misquoting, people writing things down over the phone. It's just really kind of fascinating to me. So the first piece of information I have was actually written on regular lined paper by my adoptive mother. It was what she was told by the child welfare board that handled the adoption. So it says Annie's father and mother. Mother, no medical history, no surgery. Her mother, kidney infection and diabetes caused her death at 65. Father, accident, boy with leg. I mean, it's just funny how people write things down. Accident, boy with leg, possible osteomyelitis, bone problem, was cured, then good health. I could tell you growing up that caused all sorts of consternation in my life because I had a lot of like knee and long bone pain in my legs growing up. So it was like, oh, maybe you got it from your father. And I'm like, it's osteomyelitis. No, that's an infection. That is not what I got from my father. But it turned out to be a very sad story that I'll share later. And then his father, cancer, he died 50 or 60. Father raised 5 children. That's not true either. There was a mother and she was very active in raising their 6 children. So, they just lopped one of those kids off too. So, and yeah, so that's it. That's all I knew. And my adopted mom did share that with me at some point, especially when I started having the achy legs.
Mm-hmm.
She dug into her little file and pulled that out. Then I have a piece of paper from the child welfare board that handled the adoption saying that Anne was born on such and such a date. They had the weight wrong. it's fascinating. The birth weight was listed on this piece of paper as a mere 7 pounds, but my actual birth certificate weighs me in at 9 pounds, 1 ounce.
Ooh.
And the welfare board paper just talks about health check-ins and things that leapt out at me on this was how rapidly I was putting on weight because they were feeding me regular homogenized milk with Caro and cereal. And that is the diet you gave to an orphan, which kind of blew my mind. Like Caro, it's sugar. It's just sugar water.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, can I ask a question?
Mhm.
How long were you an orphan prior to your adoption?
From May until August. No, September.
Okay.
September. Yeah. I was in a foster home for a brief period of time. Um, I guess it says at my 9-week checkup, I laughed out loud for the first time. Foster sister played accordion, which always made me cry. Which, I mean, living in certain parts of the country, we're familiar with accordions.
Right.
And the irony to that statement is they gave me to adopted family where the mother played accordion. Like she loved playing the accordion. She drove us crazy sometimes playing that accordion. I still remember a Halloween where it was almost like an act of defiance. She's like, I'm playing the accordion and handing out candy. And we're like, we are disappearing for hours. We're
Right.
not coming home.
We do not live
We
here.
do not live
I
here.
don't know this woman.
And I laugh about it now, but as an adolescent, I was just like horrified.
Absolutely.
But I just I looked at that. I'm like, so they knew that the accordion made me cry and they hand me over to this woman. Like she didn't just play the accordion. She had her name embossed on this thing. It was a fancy accordion.
Oh,
So anyhow, that's just a
interesting.
little kind of
Yeah,
kind
that's
of
a beautiful
funny,
detail.
right? Like out of all the things they could say about my time in the foster care was, yeah, that really bugged her.
Well, maybe she played it badly.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, did I like certain toys? I just don't, I found that is the one and only detail from my time in foster care. And I just find that kind of hilarious. So then there is, when I talked to the adoption agency, how many years later, I was in early 30s. So still, they had the time and date of birth correct, still had the weight incorrect. Foster placement was, actually, this says 523. So maybe I went right into foster care. But all these other, it's fascinating how much it gets confusing because this child welfare board doesn't mention that date. At any rate, it says maternal grandmother overweight, died of diabetic complications, kidney failure. That is true. Mother couldn't provide proper home. It listed that she was a cashier at a supermarket, a tech in a chemical lab, wanted to go into business for herself, refinishing furniture. And now that I know this mother, I can 100% imagine her saying all of this. She always had kind of plans for wanting to do these things. And it's kind of, I don't know, I think it's kind of sweet. She just wanted to refinish furniture. She did 6 months after graduation from a private high school. My father is 2 years younger than her. Somebody's best friend, ? So they didn't even bother trying to figure that out. She might have mentioned that. And they just wrote somebody's best friend, ? Home from the boats. Okay. What boats? I guess to marry me, maybe. Cook's helper on the lakes. She didn't want to marry him, too immature. He was one. I love that that's listed.
That's such a great detail, though.
Right? Too immature.
It is true.
Then here's where we get it. We still get it wrong. He was one of 5, 4 sisters. Nope. He had 3 sisters, 2 brothers. He was one of 6. Everyone in his family in good health. His father died of cancer. He was fair-skinned, dark-haired, blue eyes, 5'10", into bodybuilding. So, and maternal grandfather semi-retired from real estate. So, connections.
Now, another question. Sorry.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, no, good.
Because what I read in my file, the last couple of episodes, I later find out some of those details are also a little, different. But do you think that these are the details that your mother would have told them?
Yes. That this would have been an interview with her. Is my take on it. Is she was just giving background. She didn't feel she could provide a proper home. I don't think that was 100% true. She was living with her dad. He was supporting her, and her my half brother from a previous marriage. And she's told me, when I met her later, and I gave it a lot of time. I did not press her for details at first. And then when she decided to talk about it, she would talk about it. She told me that she thought with her mother dying, her brother dying, she's living at home, her dad's supporting her, supporting yet another child. She said she thought it would kill him. Like there was just so much that had happened, and she didn't want to be the one to push him over the edge. So, and we'll never know. Like I never asked, never pressed her for, did you and your dad talk about it? She was very close-lipped with close friends too. So she did get married later, had 2 children from that marriage, happy home. Like any home, there's ups and downs, but for the most part, very, very, very good. Wonderful man that she married. I was at my half brother's wedding, and I met friends of the family who wanted to adopt me. It was her best friend and her husband. Is any of this making sense? I know it gets convoluted. So
basically, these were people that knew about her pregnancy.
Yes.
Who said, before you make a decision, or just so you know, I would like to adopt this child you're about to give birth to.
Yes.
Okay.
And I didn't know that until I'm standing there at this wedding meeting these people, and they're like, we wanted to adopt you. And he's like, I just need to talk to you. I need to fill you in on some things. And it was really, I'm like, here we are at this wedding. And he was taking the opportunity to just say, listen, your mother is very close-lipped about things. We never knew what she was thinking or feeling about any of this. And, his wife was my mom's best friend, and that they were lifelong best friends. Yeah. Lifelong. I won't say her name, but there's so many cards and letters, and they were thick as thieves, so that she wouldn't even talk to her best friend about how she was feeling is really telling you something. Like she just kind of closed off, shut down. Right. I'm just doing this, and I can't have anyone talking me out of it. At the hospital. So she told me this later too. At the hospital after she delivered, she said that the doctor was just kind of perfunctory, just kind of did his job and didn't seem particularly encouraging or sympathetic, just like, get this baby out.